Hi, and welcome to my video on how to build the new SenetEr blocks. A little more balance for the new patch, where the entertainment coverage of your venues is a little bit more generous. So the blocks are designed to be compact and to be balanced, and hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate that as I go through. So we'll start with the small SenetEr block, and it's basically just a little 4x4 internal, and it is designed to have gardens around it, so it would be garden, house, and then into the roads. So I'll put down the corner houses now, which is usually the way that I do things when I set up a block, just because I usually want these to be used for entertainment, or pardon me, for employment coverage. So I like to have the corner ones up so I can draw employment from anywhere around the block for the neighboring areas. And then I usually start by giving them water. And then I go with fire and architect coverage. So I'm doing these blocks for non-malaria maps. This one is a malaria map, but we are pretty far away from the reeds with these ones, so they're safe from malaria. I'll show you a modification to use if there's malaria. Basically, you need to sacrifice one spot from a house, and you can do with that with the other 3 little spots what you want. Sorry, I like this to be a firehouse, or so there's our basic services. This is all you really need in a block to keep these stable, other than the physician. So we'll put the physician in now. Hopefully we don't keep seeing that message. So I'll just run this. So of course the next thing that they're going to want is food, and then entertainment. So we're going to tell this one to buy grain. We're going to tell it to buy pottery and beer right off the bat, because that's all you can do with a small block, is take it up to whitewashed houses with beer. There's no courthouse, so you won't go any higher. And then we want to put a god in. We'll just use Bast for all our so these will start to evolve up. The other basic service is a tax collector, of course. And then entertainment. So this one is designed, because it's a small population. There's 10 houses total. They'll get up to about maybe 70 people. So you're looking at probably 700 to 720 people in this block. So 2 juggler booths is more juggler booths than you need. There's no dancers in this block, but musician coverage easily, with 1,000, easily overshoots it. And then I have room to make the gods happy. We have 3 other gods in this town, so I'll just put down shrines to each of them, just for show. So an early block like this will feed employment, get you 720 people. It'll keep the gods basically happy. Then of course you want to add a dentist in there later on for culture rating. You can choose to do with this what you want. This is actually one of the blocks that will allow for a apothecary without losing any houses. You could stick a shrine here if you wanted, or if you really wanted to go, if you're short a juggler school, you could put a booth here as well. So this little spot here is flexible. We'll just put down the apothecary just to stick to the original housing design that I have posted on Heaven Games. And then for beautification, you can see we've already got up to whitewashed houses here on the one block. We go plaza. And then of course the rest of the houses to take it up to the 10 houses. So that is a small functioning SenetEr block. It'll hit everything that you need to hit. There's no scribal school, there's no mortuary, though if you wanted to later on, there's always the ability to get rid of a house and stick in a scribal school or a mortuary. So we'll let that one go, and we'll start to build the medium SenetEr block. So that one is an 8 internal rather than a 4. And I've modified it slightly for the new culture ratings to try to squeeze a little bit of extra housing out of it. And the way I do it is I put a little jog in just to get a 3x3 on the external instead of the internal. It ends up buying a little bit of space for an extra house. So of course, that way I usually evolve a block is I get the corner blocks down, or the corner houses down, and then start supplying it with water and with physician and tax and a bazaar. And since there's no police station, this block gets a courthouse, and that's where I put that little jog. Now again, this is we're not going to put an apothecary in this block, just so I can show the maximum amount of housing that it can take. And a god, of course. Sorry, I'm doing the apothecary version. And then I go and put it on the wrong side. So then the education venues, of course, or pardon me, entertainment. So this gets a pavilion and a juggler school. So again, this one has no dancer. This one only has one musician, so they're not perfectly balanced, but when you start scattering the different size blocks around, you end up doing okay. I mainly use the medium and the large block with these scattered in little key areas. So this one, of course, will get a scribal school. And I like it to be close-ish to the entrance so that the papyrus delivery can happen. That's why I switched these here to this side. We'll tell the bazaar to buy a single food, buy pottery, and buy beer. And that's all we're going to do in this block as well. So we've got 4 houses. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this block loses an apothecary, but on non-malaria maps it doesn't matter, of course, and it gains an extra house from the old SenetEr block. And plazas. So this one with a scribal school should go all the way up to common residences. And this one will accept almost 1,300 people. So this is 720, this is 1288. So again, a little short, about 200 short of the dancer, but pretty much okay on everything else. Perhaps a little bit short on the jugglers. So there's our common residence. Okay, and now for the large SenetEr block. I'm just going to show these on flat view in case anybody wants to see how the little road system here works. Okay, so now for the large SenetEr block. It has a 14 internal, so that's 6 longer on the internal than the medium block. And it has the little jog here for 2 3x3 buildings. And then it has a little jog in to do the entertainment venues. Put the entertainment venues in right off the bat here. So here we've got a total of 3 juggler stages, 2 musician stages, and 1 dance stage. So this gets 2 gods. And I'll put down the smaller of the temples that I have available to me, just so just so we can see over here. And of course, a courthouse. We'll want to get a library in this block. Now, I don't always have to have a library. Once you get your libraries up to perfect ratings and you've got more of these blocks, you can use this space for an extra house or something, a statue if you wanted. Very flexible what to use that one for. So then our scribal school, this one will get a mortuary. And the bazaar, of course. So we're going to tell this one to buy 2 types of food. We're going to get it to do pottery and beer. We're going to tell it to buy linen. I won't quite, I'm going to tell it to buy wine, but I'll wait. So with the large blocks, if you're going to supply it with everything like that, you need to get a little fancy on the corners and get a statue down. I'm going to leave the statue off here just as a demonstration of what can happen. Actually, that one won't go, so I'm not going to worry about it. It won't ever be desirable enough to evolve to a manor there. But some of these other corner houses, if you've got a lot of desirability, there's nothing to stop these corner houses from expanding out into the corner and giving you a manor that you don't want. So I always like to, with the large blocks, get a statue in the corners. So we need fire and architect and a dentist in this block, of course. And we need a tax collector as well. You could always put it here if you wanted. You could put the physician here if you wanted, or a house. You get a little bit of flexibility of where you want them, but I'm just very used to putting the water, the bazaar, the physician, and the tax collector in the same spot, so I always kind of default to it. And here's a spot where we have a space for a shrine or a statue. You could put a house here, it's close enough to the roads, and just have a little single house. So that has got everything. This house is still waiting for a little bit of desirability. So we've got 4 houses down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we've got 19 houses here. Now, population of this block is pretty variable. Depending if you do manors on the long side. Actually, just for the sake of the manor discussion, I'm going to change that to a house and put the tax collector here. you'll see why. The long side is really ideal for doing manor housing, and as this builds, I'm going to get ready to do that. We're going to stick a third god here, because if we're going to evolve these to manors nicely, they'll want a third god. Now, usually what I do in a situation like this where I'm going to evolve manors is I don't do it in a lot of places, but I'll show you how I did it over here. I've got all my high-end housing up against the temple complex and some other high appeal things. We won't be sticking a temple complex here, so I'm just going to throw some high appeal things, just statues. Just going to rejig this slightly. Just stick a temple to one of the other gods there. So they'll come down and supply these houses with a third god via the back door here. And this will all be high enough to evolve. I start bringing in wine now. So anyways, this is the SenetEr, the large SenetEr block. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 houses. So this wants the second type of food, so we'll be waiting for the bazaar to get that fish and grain kind of into the block. So I'm going to just speed it up here till that evolves. Oh, here we've got a house with that's all ready to expand to a greater space. So we've got the wine coming in now. So this whole side here is now going to evolve up to fancy residences. It has wine now. So I'm just going to demonstrate what will happen if I didn't put this little statue down here. So with this statue gone, there's nothing to keep this house from evolving into a manor. So that's why if you don't want to get manor housing on your corners by accident, it's good to get the little statues down. But fancy residences will take 92 people. So this block will hit nearly 1,800 people. If you don't want to evolve manor housing, and I'm going to show you a little trick here on how to evolve this manor housing. If these guys ever get up high enough, yeah, we're starting to pop up on this side. It's just a matter of the bazaar lady loading things up. Once they're all fancy residences, I'll show you how I use this block to handle unemployment. We're at 22% unemployment right now, so that, I mean, we just threw down 3 pretty busy blocks. A little bit far away from the distribution area, but Bizarre Lady has to go a little farther for food. It looks like we don't have any grain at the moment, so we're gonna have to be waiting for harvest. We did a lot of feeding of people in these things, and we used up our grain reserves. We used up our fish as well. Oh, did we actually we got that bug where we lost we got the bug where we lost our farms, so that just means a load and an unload, but I don't want to mess around too much with that right now, so I'll just show you how to evolve the housing down here. So if you pretend that these are the houses in our block, and we just lost this, or we just took the statue away there and got the manor. So now along this side we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nine houses we can that are ready to go up to manor level. So you would just go to a trio and delete the center house, and they will expand towards the empty space that you just created. So we just went up to stately manors there and dropped our unemployment down. Well, it was raising while we were talking. And then you could also go to the next trio and delete the middle house, and they evolve up into manors. And then you could go to your last trio. Oh, we had a problem with the house devolving before we did that trick. We ended up evolving strangely, but you get the idea. We'll leave this one alone here on the corner. So you take that trio and you end up with your manors. You take the center one of the next trio and they evolve up. You take the next center one of the next trio and they evolve up. So this one might not have enough desirability to become a manor. It did. So alongside these large blocks, large SenetEr blocks, you can actually evolve 7 manors. So that's the proper use of that. It's a shame we ran into that little housing bug here. I do have a trio here to demonstrate it here. It's not the right trio. Actually, it is correct. Did we get malaria? Anyways, I guess we're close enough to the reeds here to have this block be a malaria risk. So not a perfect demonstration of stability for the housing blocks, but you get the idea how to evolve them and how to use them. So here's a flat view of the active large SenetEr block. Okay, thank you for watching, and hope you get to use these in your own cities. You can see how they stack. You can see how I was using small blocks here, used a medium block here, some small blocks here, down across the river. I've used a large block, the old style large block, and then two mediums and a small. So I just kind of scatter them around wherever they make the sense. Got two medium blocks here. And that's how I build my cities, trying to balance them out for culture rating. I don't think I deleted a bunch of zoos and everything to make room for this. But even without a zoo, we're pretty balanced for culture, with the way that the blocks are set up for entertainment. Okay, thanks for watching.